quarrel with Karunanidhi on this. He said, no, Tamil is pure, separate, different. So I told him, your name Karunanidhi itself is Sanskrit. Karunanidhi. He said, no, these are words which were originally Tamil and Sanskrit stole it. So, Tamil has 40% of the words common to Sanskrit. Kannada has even 60%. Malayalam has even more. Bengali has 90% Sanskrit words. Gujarati and so on. So, we need now to develop an interstate communication. Not everybody has to learn Sanskrit. And you don't have to learn Sanskrit, you don't have to impose Sanskrit right away. Hindi is now being spoken in most parts of India. And Hindi must be now, its vocabulary must be Sanskrit. You can have a separate scholarly library language of Urdu. Urdu should not be wiped out, it should remain as a language. It's a language of poetry too. But at the same time for official communication, later on for courts, later on for universities, we should develop an Indian language which would be Sanskrit based. We need it. Otherwise this identity cannot be established. We need a new history. There is no such thing as Aryan and Dravidian, which the Englishman has fed into our brain. People say, no, Aryans are light-skinned and Dravidians are dark-skinned. Well, Dravidians live in the south near the equator, they are bound to be dark. It's got nothing to do with race. It has got to do with how your pigmentation and your skin reacts to the sun. Take out your pigmentation, you will see your color will be as white as the European. In fact, Michael Jackson, the singer, he did precisely that. He went to a doctor and said, take out my pigmentation. And he became a white man. So, there is no such thing. The word Aryan doesn't exist in our scriptures. Arya is there. Arya means just a cultured person. Dravid is a word which was invented by, at least the most frequent user of that word was Adi Shankaracharya, who defined this as a sandhi of two words, thra and vid, which means where the three coastlines meet. The Arabian Sea, the Bay of Bengal, and the Indian Ocean. So it means South India. But the British converted that into a Aryan Dravidian two communities. That the Dravidians were ruling India, and then the Aryans came from Khyber Pass and drove the Dravidian south. This bogus theory is still being taught. I hope that the Indian government will burn all these books and try to have new textbooks written. Because these were created by the British and they just carried it forward. I am not against English. English is an international language. No thanks to the British. Thanks all to the Americans. And the Americans not adopted English instead of German. I think in Pennsylvania when they were deciding the Constitution, I learned, I don't know whether I'm right, that there was a choice whether Americans should speak German as an official language or English, and it was by one vote that it became English. And because the Americans today, English has become international language. But we need that language. It's a library language. Somebody has to learn. But I would think that we need this. So, correct history, a language for communication amongst all of us for future generations. I'm not saying this should happen right away. Nor can it happen right away. The Chinese also imposed, Chinese have 20 languages, orally speaking languages. The written language is the same. But that there are still areas where the Goyu or the Mandarin is not spoken. It takes time and it will take time. But I think this is required to meet that challenge. Because if we are divided amongst ourselves, then we are no match for this fierce movement that will come from the East, with a one-track mind. And therefore, I think the implications for India is how to unite the country into one psychology in terms of defending the nation. I think the Iraq crisis is not going to simmer down. There is the Islamic world has a huge amount of money thanks to oil. Maybe we should develop hydrogen fuel cells as an alternative to petrol. And it's a viable proposition because now told that Toyota is coming out with cars with hydrogen fuel cells. We should, I think, one of the strategies should be to find an alternative to petrol and diesel, and that would be through the hydrogen fuel cells, which are really batteries. So, to meet this challenge of Iraq, it has deep implications for the unity of India. We have to see how we can bind our people together and propagate concepts by which we can all become one. This, in short, is what I want to say. Thank you very much.